It has become sports overall, the NBA in particular. It's a combination of great coaches, great athletes, but technology. I mean, you guys are working with Intel, and you have been for a while. There's a lot of stuff going on. I think about AT&T. Tell us about the role increasingly of technology in the NBA.
Yeah, it's exciting for us because only 1% of our fans globally will ever come to a game. So we have to embrace technology. 1%. As such a global sport, our games are here, and so we have to embrace technology. We're very fortunate because our players embrace social media, and they are great global brands amongst themselves, and so we do everything we can to capture the emotion around the game and send it out globally.
I want to ask you about that specifically because the NBA has done a phenomenal job with developing those brands and kind of giving the players, it feels like, a little bit of space. How do you balance that? Because you've got some big personalities and, as you say, with a massive social media footprint in a lot of cases.
Absolutely. I mean, we see our games on TV as meals and social media and all of the content as snacks. So our players are out there developing content. Our teams are developing content, and we, the league, are developing content. So we have 1.5 billion followers amongst players, teams, in the league. And our job is just to engage fans globally in every way we can, in different platforms, and testing and learning is a big part of that.
Amy, talk to us about the platforms, right? Because you have traditional where you go to a game, you've got men's, you've got women's, you've got esports, you've got streaming. Like, where's the biggest growth potential?
What's fun, we think the engaging side of the broadcast has a lot of potential, and our other leagues beside the NBA allow us to test. We have our NBA 2K League, which is broadcast on Twitch. Our G League is broadcast on Twitch. I'll give you a quick example of what we're doing with the G League. We're actually allowing people to vote for the MVP in a G League game, and then at the end of the game, that MVP can come on and take direct questions from fans. So it allows us to test and learn a lot.
But is that where's the most growth? Because like we talk about esports a lot, and I think they talk about it being like $1 billion business by 2020. Where's the biggest growth?
Well, we see esports as a great way, again, going back to the global opportunity to engage our fans. We see the potential of having an esports team internationally, and that's much harder to do with the NBA. So we see that as a fantastic opportunity.
I think you were just in. Talk about that as an opportunity. What are the challenges? It's obviously a massive market. Everybody has a China strategy. Help distill the NBA's.
Yeah, we have 300 million people play basketball there. We had 640 million people watch the NBA there. We have these phenomenal partners. When I was just amazed at just the avidity of people loving basketball. It's the #1 team sport there. The challenge, of course, is how far away it is, but we're really focused on how we capture that market in unique and different ways, and they're so forward-looking, so tech-savvy, and so they just love consuming NBA however they can.
You know, it was interesting kind of prepping for this. Like, you've got a lot of owners who come out, and I think we are living in such a political, social activist world. How do you balance letting players and owners of teams express their opinions or help kind of balance those situations with also kind of managing a huge industry and a league?
Yeah, it's important to give players and owners, but especially our players, a platform by which they can use their voice and speak out at whatever cause is important to them. We want to make sure they feel supported. Obviously, diversity is a core value of the NBA, and we really want to embrace our players and enable them to freely speak.
Talk about the WNBA and sort of the opportunities there, how it fits in, where you see the most growth.
Yeah, it's important to me, especially as a woman that work for a league that embraces not just diversity of our players in the NBA, but we have our own women's professional league, and we see tremendous potential for this. It's a league that's been around for over 20 years, but we think that in today's society, it's really prime for capturing a new audience as well, for people who care about progressive women and what women are doing, not just on the court, but off the court.
What are the other different methods that you guys are embracing in terms of getting the brands out there? And I think about, was it a couple of years, you started doing kind of sponsor logos on uniforms? And so, like, where does this all go?
Yeah, so we call it the jersey patch, and we launched this for the first time last season. We now have 29 teams that have a partner on their jersey, and we've been tremendously pleased with this program because we didn't know who was going to come, how this is going to work, and we now have 2/3 of these partners are brand new to the NBA. We have some fantastic brands like Disney, GE, Harley-Davidson, and also endemic brands to that team in that city. Most of these companies are based locally in those markets, but they're global brands.
So when you think about technology, one of the elements that comes to the fore is gambling. It is in a totally different environment now, post the decision last year by the Supreme Court. What's the strategy as this sort of starts to set in for the NBA?
Yeah, obviously first and foremost is integrity as this comes, but it's happening already. We just want to embrace it and make sure it's regulated in the right way. But for us, we see engagement as the opportunity. Data shows that when people bet or do fantasy gaming, they watch for 3 times as long. So for us, that's a great opportunity to make our game more unique, more engaging for fans.
Data, you mentioned data, and I feel like every industry that we talk about nowadays is, pulling in a lot of data, trying to figure out how to make it useful. How do you guys put data to work in the NBA?
Yeah, for us to know personal things about fans so we can segment and target is important. And at the league, we're very fortunate to see across all of our fans as well. And so we want to be able to enable teams to reach the right person with the right message at the right time. So it's a big priority for us in learning as much as we can about our fans. We talked about our global fans as well, because we see a day where we can offer targeted products, much personalized and targeted products to fans in different countries. We have 108 international players this year from 42 countries. How can we utilize that strength, that global strength of the NBA, to deliver a fan in France something that's much more customized to them?